Welcome to the Pet Pawcast. Thank you for joining us this wonderful Friday. We're at the Campus for All Animals, the Houston SPCA, and we have exciting information to talk to you about today. So before we get into our topic today, which is all about puppies, kittens, piglets, and baby animals and how to manage them, you can start thinking of questions related to pregnancy in animals. And maybe I can help you answer some of those questions. Before we get to that, I'd like to invite you guys to come on down to our campus. Come this weekend with your family or friends. There's no appointment necessary. We do have limited admission to our adoption center due to our COVID guidelines, but come on down between 1 and 6 p.m. every day of the week, and we can help you find a wonderful pet to join your family forever. So one of the pets that we have that's up available for adoption is this cute girl here. Her name is Buffalo. Hi. Oh, she's camera shy. Buffalo is apparently, not everybody wants to be on camera, and that's okay. She's probably wondering what that is. Buffalo is a sweet girl, very, very energetic. I think she is probably just camera shy, wondering what's going on, but she is available and able to make someone a wonderful home. Looks like she's trying to hide from us. She would be fabulous in a family that's active. So if you need a running partner, she's very treat motivated. If you need a running partner or a hiking partner, or you need a dog that you'd like to do agility with, I think this would be a good dog for you. She's active, she's very sweet, and she is looking for her forever home. So this is Buffalo. We have lots of dogs, cats, puppies, kittens, rabbits. We have lots of animals available for adoption. So you can also go to HoustonSPCA.org and click on the link for adoptable pets and make your way on down here. In the meantime, let's talk about pregnancy in animals. One exciting thing that we had going on in the last 24 hours is we had a rescue potbelly pig, a pig that we took in that was already pregnant. And the wonderful thing is that yesterday she gave birth to 3 healthy piglets. They are adorable. They are waiting so that they can be adoptable in a few months. But they're doing well. Both Mama Juno and her 3 little piglets are doing well. Following us on social media, you may have seen that we have a live piggy cam available. So Juno, a couple of weeks ago, got an ultrasound, and we were able to see that she was pregnant and had some babies. And we've been waiting anxiously to watch her, spoiling her really this whole time, waiting for her to have those piglets. And it finally happened last night. It was really a wonderful experience for everyone, very pleasant, and everybody is doing well. So 3 little piglets. Please log on to our YouTube channel and watch the live streaming cam so that you can follow Juno and her piglets grow. All right, now we're going to talk about other types of baby animals. So we do have some cute little baby puppies that are going to be available for adoption in a few weeks. So look at these cutie pies. OMG. Have you ever seen anything as cute? No? You've never seen anything this cute until about 10 minutes from now when we see another cute puppy, and then we'll say that one's the cutest we've ever seen. But they're all fabulous. And so little quizzes. When we're talking about pigs, I was telling you about Juno and her piglets. How often or how long do you think the gestation period is for pigs? Anybody watching, if you want to take a guess on how long it takes for a pig to give birth, please put it in the chat and we'll see who gets the answer right first. So that's piglets. Don't look it up. Just guess how long the gestation period for a pig is. In the meantime, I'll tell you for dogs, it's about 63 to 65 days. And so these puppies now are about 6 weeks old. They'll go up for adoption around 8 or 9 weeks. And so here they are. They have some litter mates that will also be available. So cute. So cute. Look at that. And so we're going to talk about what happens. So when we have a pregnant dog or cat or pig, there's a couple things that we like to take into consideration for the puppies, but also for the moms who are going to be nursing them. particularly in dogs and cats. What we like to do is make sure that they have proper nutrition. It's very, very important that if we have a pregnant animal, that they are being, healthy, that they're able to take care of their puppies when they give birth. So we oftentimes feed them around the clock. And we got this one so shaky. We feed them around the clock. We give them puppy food sometimes so that they can put on a little weight and get more nutrition so that they can be healthy enough to nurse their puppies. Or if it's a cat, we might feed around the clock and give kitten food so that we can make sure that the cat is healthy enough and proper weight enough to nurse her kittens. And that's usually what we do. So we take nutrition into consideration. Now, we advocate for getting pets spayed and neutered before they get pregnant unknowingly, particularly if there's not an adopter or a family member who's going to be taking care of those puppies and kittens. So we recommend spaying and neutering. But sometimes we have the gift of puppies and kittens and piglets even that join us, and we just love those guys just as much. And so if we get into a situation where we have a pregnant mama or a pregnant Juno pig, then we know how to take care of them. And so nutrition is very, very important. And so giving those moms a lot of nutrition to make sure that they can take care of their growing puppies and kittens is hugely important. What other questions do you have about pregnancy in animals?
So speaking of nutrition, Julie wants to know, do pregnant moms need, supplements or vitamins like people are recommended?
That's a great question. So if they are feeding a balanced diet, so again, I was talking about nutrition, and sometimes what we'll do for puppies or for moms and cats, for dogs and cats, the mothers, is feed them puppy or kitten food because it's higher in calories and higher in nutrients. So as long as it's a well-balanced diet, they may not need additional vitamins. There are some times where one of the supplements that we give is calcium. So as you know, when you're nursing a large litter, what if you have 7 or 8 puppies or kittens and you're nursing a large litter? That milk can definitely pull calcium from the body. And so sometimes we might give calcium supplements because a deficiency in calcium can actually be a life-threatening condition in some nursing moms. So a well-balanced diet is really going to be the first thing that you want to make sure that they're eating. Make sure that they can get puppy food or kitten food on board, and then they may not need a lot of supplements. But calcium is a very common supplement that we might add to the diet of dogs and cats, particularly while they are nursing. So great question about vitamins and supplements for our nursing moms. So as we said, dogs typically have a gestation period around 63 to 65 days. And it just so happens that cats are about the same. So cats also have a gestation period of about 63 days. And so it's very similar there. And it's coming up on kitten season. So again, we're talking about all things giving birth. So we've got piglets in our barn. We've got puppies here. And in a very few weeks, usually in the spring and summer and fall, it is kitten season. This is when we see a lot of kittens that are born outdoors to cats that maybe don't have a home. They're outdoor cats. They don't have an owner, and they oftentimes will give birth. Well, one thing that the Houston SPCA does is we try to do the best that we can to save as many of those kittens as possible. And we do that by setting up a kitten nursery. And so we have a 24-hour nursery here during kitten season where we try to bottle feed those kittens and hand raise them if they have lost their mother or been abandoned or there's been some trauma with the mom and they need to be hand raised. We're here to help them do that. Luckily, these puppies have their mama with them. But they're trying to be weaned now. They're about 6 or 7 weeks old. It's time for them to start, growing up and separating from mom. So we're very excited to have them. What other questions can we help you with?
So let's say you missed the boat, you didn't get your pet spayed in time, and you've got a litter on the way. One, how do you know, early on? And two, when's a good time to take them to the vet for the first time?
Oh, such great questions. How do you know? Maybe you just found a pet or you got a pet from someone and you didn't know that they were pregnant, and you need to know how to know those signs. Okay, let's talk about, you want a nurse? Let's talk about in dogs. One thing that you'll notice is weight gain. So just very commonly, their belly, their abdomen might start to look a little bit bloated and might start to look like it's growing sideways. That is a sign of pregnancy, particularly if you haven't changed their diet. So you haven't changed their diet. Nothing's really changed for them to gain a significant amount of weight, but you notice they're getting a little wide. You might also notice that their teats, their mammary glands, start to get a little bit more developed and swollen and engorged. You can see that as well. And this can start to happen over a relatively short period of time, because remember, the gestation period, or the time period in which they are pregnant, is only about 60 days. We're talking 2 months here, people. 2 months from the time that your dog mates to the time that they give birth. So it can be a relatively short period of time when you start seeing them gain weight. Their nipples might become enlarged or engorged. And then when it gets close to birthing, oftentimes what you'll see very close to birthing is that they may start to have some discharge from the nipples in preparation for puppies. And they may even stop eating and start nesting behavior. So that means they're really focused on giving birth. So that means they're going to try to find a nest. They need a quiet place. They need blankets. They need a warm spot for them to feel comfortable and calm enough to give birth. And so sometimes people will make a little tub with towels in it, or maybe in a little closet or in a small bedroom, and give them that privacy. And typically they will give birth after about 2 months. And so those are some signs. It's usually, veterinarians can usually help owners determine whether their pet is pregnant several ways. So how do we know if your pet is pregnant? What tests can we do? Well, first, we can palpate. Sometimes when we're doing a physical exam, we can palpate the abdomen. And after about 45 days, we can actually palpate the fetuses in the abdomen. So that's one way. A less intrusive way of palpating and pressing on the abdomen is actually to use ultrasound, or more commonly known in human medicine as like a sonogram. So we'll use an ultrasound, and we'll put the ultrasound probe on the abdomen, and we'll be able to see fetuses that way. Another way is to take an x-ray, to take a radiograph, and then we can see right into the body with an x-ray. And we can even, if it's late enough, if it's been 45 days or longer, we can actually count the number of fetuses that are present. And in some cases, you can do a test for a hormone that tends to increase during pregnancy. So there's lots of ways that we can potentially test for pregnancy in dogs and cats. And your veterinarian may be able to tell as soon as 30 days into the pregnancy, as soon as 30 days.
So Jamie wants to know what her options are if she's got a litter and knows she can't care for all the babies that are coming soon.
Yes, if you have a litter and you know that you're not able to care for them. So one thing that's best for puppies and kittens is for them to remain with their mother if possible. So if you find a litter of kittens, it's coming up as kitten season, and oftentimes these kittens are born outdoors, and we know that it's cold. But oftentimes if you find a litter of kittens, I would wait several hours to see if the mother comes back to claim her kittens. You may not want to right away remove the kittens. Oftentimes what we'll notice in mothers, particularly outdoor dogs and cats, is they will move their kittens or puppies strategically in different areas. And the reason they're doing that is they're trying to protect the puppies and kittens from predators. So what they'll do is they'll take their puppies and kittens and they'll move them and they'll hide them under the bushes and hide them places. And so if you find a litter of kittens, I would give it a few hours before you take those kittens away and make sure that there's not a mother who's actually tending to them, because that's the best thing. Now, if you know that the kittens or puppies have been abandoned, then certainly, and you're not able to take care of them, you can call your family veterinarian. Oftentimes they can help you. They can give you resources either to take care of them at home, or they may take them into their hospital or clinic and try to hand raise them through foster homes. And if we have stray kittens and puppies, the Houston SPCA can take in those immature animals as well, and we will put them in our kitten nursery when we get it open this spring. So great questions. Any other questions about pregnancy in pets?
Kristen wants to know how she can help bottle fed, especially with kids. Like how can she teach it?
Thank you so much, Kristen. We'll get you on the schedule. We'll put you on there. So what you can do is go to the HoustonSPCA.org and look for our volunteers tab, and you can sign up to become a volunteer. There is training to help us hand raise and bottle feed these kittens during kitten season. And so there are online video trainings that we can set you up with, but also there are shadow shifts. And there are opportunities for you to come learn how to bottle feed with some of our more experienced staff members when the time comes. So I would say go to the HoustonSPCA.org, click on that volunteer link and sign up, and we'll get you ready and able to help us with those kittens. Thank you. So this is a little setup that you can see in the background here. This is one of the setups that we use for our neonatal kittens that come in, the ones that we need to hand raise or bottle feed. And so oftentimes we need to regulate the environmental temperature for these young babies because they're not able to regulate their body temperature themselves. So we need to make sure that the climate is okay for them. So we'll put them in an incubator that has a heated lid, and we will make sure that they are comfortable. Sometimes we'll give them a little stuffed animal that they can cuddle up to. And this even has a little heart inside of it that pumps, that makes a sound like a heartbeat. And it definitely mimics a mother cat. And so they can snuggle up to this and they can hear the beating heart inside here. And it's another source of warmth and comfort for the kittens. So sometimes we put this in there with them. Then another thing that we have is plenty of milk to feed, because we've got a bottle feed. And so if you guys have ever raised puppies or kittens before, you know that you can get commercial milk replacer for both puppies and kittens. This is something that you can get from PetSmart and Petco. But both of these, there's instructions on the back for how to properly feed and decide how much to feed your puppy or kitten when you are bottle feeding. And so we have training about how to mix this up and how to administer it to our puppies and kittens there, SBLOC and KMR. And you can get items like this as well over the counter, which are little bottle feeding kits that kind of help us to prepare for administering milk to the puppies and the kittens. And so you can get helpful kits like this. There's plenty of videos online. The Houston SPCA has some videos for our volunteers to help learn how to bottle feed our puppies and kittens. And then, of course, since we are mimicking mom, when puppies and kittens are very young, when they are less than 3 weeks old, they need help going to the restroom. They need help urinating and defecating. And that often happens because the mother will lick their rear end. And the stimulation of licking the rear end, the warmth and the stimulation will actually cause urination and defecation. And that's how these young neonatal babies are able to excrete waste. And that requires some cleaning up, right? That requires some cleaning up. So we have some nice wipes here that we can use to kind of clean up the puppies and kittens, or that we can use to stimulate elimination after we bottle feed. So we can get these warm and we can stimulate the puppies and kittens to excrete their waste after they urinate and defecate. So this is all very real. And these are things that we've got to do on a daily basis if we want to get these puppies and kittens well. So this is kind of like a healthy little starter kit. And we're here to help you guys. If you guys want to do some of this work at home, we're here to be a resource and a support for you. Any other questions?
Yeah, so, we know it's so exciting when somebody's dog's going to have some puppies and things like that. But could you talk about why it's important to avoid that, and then how people can kind of get their puppy fix without having their own dog, have a litter?
Yes. So we are talking about puppies and kittens here and giving birth. But as I mentioned earlier, we advocate for spaying and neutering your pet as soon as your veterinarian or family veterinarian says it's okay to do that. Oftentimes in the shelter, we may spay and neuter around 8 weeks old. In general practice, your family veterinarian may have you spay or neuter your pet around 4, 5, or 6 months old. But as soon as your family veterinarian says it's okay, I would get your pet spayed or neutered. Puppies and kittens and even piglets are wonderful, and they're fun to see and they're very cute like we see here. But certainly, in a world where we have lots of pets and so many pets that don't have homes, we like to advocate for preventing unwanted and unplanned pregnancies, because in some cases, what winds up happening is those puppies and those kittens are left out on the street And sometimes when they're left out on the street, they can succumb to disease, to illness, to trauma, and we want to prevent that. We want every pet to find a home. And in order to have every pet find a home, we want to make sure that any pet that gives birth, that there is some responsible person attached to that pet, and we can do it the right way. So talk to your veterinarian about getting that pet spayed or neutered. Also, go online. There are certainly lots of clinics around Houston that can provide spay and neuter services at lower and affordable cost to you, and sometimes no cost. So those services are out there. We encourage you to please check on those so that if you need to get your pet spayed or neutered before they get pregnant, which we advocate for, we can make that happen.
So follow-up question, how soon after birth can a dog get spayed?
So how soon after birth can a dog get spayed or a cat get spayed? I would say usually around weaning time, so about a month. You can wait about a month to 6 weeks. So their mammary glands are going to be engorged with milk. And so there are certainly some surgeons who would prefer to let the mammary glands dry up a little bit before they do surgery. So I would say probably about 4 to 6 weeks after giving birth. But during this time, this is very important. During that time, do not allow the dog or cat to come into contact with another intact male. The reason is, oftentimes, particularly in cats, they can get pregnant very soon after giving birth. So even though they just gave birth 4 weeks ago, if they come into contact with an intact male cat, they can breed and they can get pregnant right away. In which case, now, not only do you have the litter of kittens that's here right now, but how long did we say? 2 months. In 2 more months, you're going to have another litter of kittens. So it can get out of control very quickly. So you want to make sure that we prevent that in the first place. And by doing that, we can make sure that we can work on finding homes for the puppies and the kittens that are here. And again, come on down to our adoption center. There's plenty of puppies, kittens, dogs, and cats that need homes. Look at these guys. So adorable. Any other questions? Well, we thank you for all the weeks that you're joining us and getting this information. As kitten season is coming up on us, remember, you might find a litter of kittens outside, and try to wait until the mom comes back and see if she's going to, do what she does best and take care of those kittens. But if you find a litter of abandoned kittens, please give us a call at 713-869-7722, and we can work on helping you hand raise those kittens, or we can take them into our kitten nursery. Well, thank you again. Come on down to our adoption center. We're happy to have you. We've got lots of pets looking for their forever home. We're happy to speak to you each week. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Roberta Westbrook, and I'll see you next week.